Hey everyone, welcome back to OCD Recovery's YouTube channel. This is a topic that I haven't really made a direct video on, but it is something that we end up talking about multiple times a week in one-on-one coaching, in the webinars, and the WhatsApp groups, because there unfortunately is a lot of misinformation surrounding stress. I know that many people come back with, the research shows this, the research shows that. Your life is not in the research. I think it's important that research has its place, but it's highly overused. It's used in a conditional manner. And again, I'm a research nerd, but my life isn't in the conclusions of a research study. My life is in the world when I'm hiking, when I'm doing one-to-one coaching. And the video I want to talk about today is the detriments of stress in the human body. Now, before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button. If you're interested in our coaching services or webinar services, please email info@ocdrecovery.com. Again, we have coaching services, one-to-one, and webinars. So there is this prevailing idea that life needs to be watched very carefully because of stress. I was listening to a great philosophy channel I listened to this morning, and they said, stress is the number one cause of depression. Stress is the number one cause of all these things. And stress is actually not the cause of depression. Because that would mean A, activating event being stressed, life stressors equals C, depression. It's not that simple. OCD sufferers know this the best because of how much we have to practice this, because it's intertwined into our recovery process. Daily life stressors are a part of life. What has happened in the emergence of social media, because now we have instant access to information to scare us and be fearful, we now believe that stress is the ultimate killer of life. But this can easily be disproved, because there's been millions of people who have probably lived until their 80s and 90s and suffered with extreme chronic OCD and anxiety-based disorders. Now, does this mean their lives were as optimal as they could be? No, but they definitely lived till 80, 90, maybe even 100 while suffering with extreme bouts of anxiety. Now, the internet has pros and cons. Pro number one, every time I eat almonds or something before a video, is that it allows me to speak to you all over the world, which is incredible. Pro number two, it allows me to give updated information on things that come to my mind, maybe on my Instagram account, a guy who hikes, which you don't follow that, please do. It's linked directly to OCD Recovery. Rob and I are always going back and forth, thinking about shared content. But some of the cons is there's so much information. People are living their lives on the internet, afraid of everything. And Jim Rohn, who Rob and I speak about a lot, Tony Robbins' mentor, who passed away in 2007, same year as Ellis, said, I'd rather live a full life to 30 than scared in the corner till 100. And that's kind of the world that we're living in right now. People are so obsessed with stress and perfection, how to perfect their testosterone levels, how to perfect their sleep, how to live forever. They're completely forgetting to actually live. They're just existing. And that's not a life that I want to live. Now, you can choose and do whatever you want. It's up to you, which is just the way I see life. And I think this is very important to cover, because we have this belief, as I said, that stress is the killer of all things. So let's start with the first thing I talked about. Let's go back a little bit to break it down a little bit more philosophically. Anxiety is the reason why people are depressed. In my opinion, absolutely not. Because I'm not depressed, nor was I depressed towards the back half of my recovery, and I had chronic, severe 24/7 anxiety. 24/7 panic attacks. In and out panic sensations for a while, 9 months, a year, after I recovered from sensory motor. And that did not equate to any sort of depression. Now, I had moments where I was down, just like a normal, not normal, but a person who didn't have OCD. But I wasn't depressed. So anxiety cannot equal depression. It can't be the main cause. Depression is primarily caused by conditional life acceptance. Okay? This shouldn't happen to me. My life isn't fair. I don't deserve this. I've done a plethora of videos breaking down the myths surrounding depression, there's a lot of them through the Ellis principles. And second is that anxiety will cause some crazy, people are absolutely convinced that if they don't live this perfectly structured illusion life, that their head's going to pop off. I'm going to sleep 7 hours. I'm going to be so tired. I'm going to make a mistake at work. Oh my God, I'm going to die at 55 years old from a heart attack. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and Lou Gehrig's disease. Yes, that may happen to you, and that is unfortunate. But do you want to live a full life of living through experience, or do you want to take your entire life through the conclusions of a research study? That is a very philosophical and deep question you need to ask yourself. Now, let's play the stress factor, the anxiety factor, and the sleep. Myths surrounding sleep. Number one, you can't control sleep. You never will be able to control sleep. We work with this amazing person. Her Instagram account is the Sleep Coach. Her name is Beth. She had decades of insomnia. She also had Lyme's disease. She had a crazy story. I had a one-to-one with her one time. She's amazing. Beth, thank you for all you do. And our values and shared mission are very, very similar, because she talks about every sleep clinic she ever went to, every sleep doctor she ever went to, they all try to control sleep. But you can't control sleep. Sleep is completely natural. Every time I've tried to control sleep, it didn't work. Now, my fear of being exhausted, my fear of being tired, far outweighed actually being tired. I'll say that again. My fear of being tired far outweighed the physiologic symptoms of being tired. You have to look at history. Imagine World War II. Maybe you went to sleep at 1:15 in the morning and the bomb went, air raid went off at 35 minutes later. These people didn't wake up and go, oh, no, I'm not ready yet. Oh, no, I got to get my sleep in. No. The internet is a pendulum. It pendulum swings to black and white ideologies. Pendulum swing all the way to the left for politics, all the way to the right for politics, all the way to Buddhist Taoism, time is a circle and you don't have to do anything with your life, to you need to perfect everything in your life, to you don't need to exercise and you could just live on the rock and be happy, to you have to work out 7 days a week. This is where moderation and thoughtful philosophical, I look like a weirdo doing this, like a snake. The pendulum here is still swinging, but it allows you to not hit those extremes. No extreme, in my opinion, is good in any sort of capacity. Extremes, because I was so extreme in everything I did. And it doesn't mean I'm not passionate. It doesn't mean I don't go for it, but I still go for it in a balanced manner. So that's how stress with sleep. Now, let's go into, say, stress with a mother. Let's break this down in a realistic fashion. Mothers will always be stressed, especially if like my friend who I saw last night. She has her third kid on the way. She's 30 weeks pregnant with 2 other kids. And she's like, I'm feeling, I had a prenatal massage. I'm not feeling too good. I'm feeling lethargic. She's not freaking out because she's accepted that this is the process of it. Now, it's a little bit more difficult when you have OCD because it lashes on. We know that. But this is to show you that you could still look at these things rationally. Women, pregnant mothers, are always probably going to sleep bad and always be stressed out. Single fathers, single mothers. It's just, let's say the worst case scenario is stress does everything you think it's going to do. You're going to have an early death. You're not going to build as much muscle. You're going to have depression. You're going to have a heart attack. You're going to have Alzheimer's. You're going to have neurodegenerative diseases. Yeah, that's great. You're going to die anyway. One day. Marcus Aurelius' closing quote in Meditations is, why be mad when you were promised 5 acts but only got 3? Leave gracefully. Why be mad if the average life expectancy is 78 and you die at 35? You still live to 35. You had many more years than many people have that die in their 20s. I have friends who have died in their early 20s or died in their late teens. I've lived twice as long as them. That's incredible. I'm very fortunate for that. This is key. I had nothing planned for this video, but I did want to come here and talk about breaking down the detriments of stress. We have overhyped it. It's just not as simple as people make it out to be. Your life isn't in the conclusions of a research study. Research is great. I love it. I love reading research. I've always loved reading research. But I have completely moved away from the conditional hold on research I once had to hold it over people's head and to realize that stress is part of life. And yes, mitigating it is great. And yes, having balance and moderation is great, but we have pendulum swung so far to the other side of we're just existing. We're not living anymore. So thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this. This is a little bit more of a philosophical talk. I really enjoy it. Don't forget, info@OCD Recovery if you're interested in our webinar and one-on-one coaching services. It gives you access to the WhatsApp groups, lots of different people all over the world. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.